Hi, I'm Deanie. Welcome to PrairieFoxSurvival.com. And today I'm going to show you how to cook a meal in a thermal cooker. I elected to purchase a Saratoga Jack's cooker, and because of availability, price, and I got some wonderful reviews, and her presentation was very good with it. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm cooking some beef ribs today, and I'm going to cook them and then bring their sauce and everything to a boil in this pot here, and I'm going to let it cook for up to 10 to 15 minutes probably, since I have meat in there. And then I'm going to put this container, while it's boiling hot with the food in it, inside of here. And if I don't have 80% fillage in the pot, I will add this little pot on the top of it with either boiling water or another meal inside the top, vegetables or something. And basically I'm going to put this on, put the lid on, and it's going to secure in place and not come up, and take my meal with me wherever I go, and in 6 to 8 hours it should be ready to eat. I'm going to check this after 4 hours today, and it should be about done by then, but it will cook all by itself in this with no electricity or anything. And like I said, I'm going to cook the beef ribs today, and I do have some started here. I have put them in a bag and floured them and browned them already, and I've got a few more I have to do. And so basically I have flour, salt, pepper, and I like a lot of garlic and cayenne, so I also added that to my flour mixture. And I'm going to put them in this bag and just coat them with flour. And then I will put them back in this pot here, and I've got butter in there that I don't know if you can see it or not. There's butter in the bottom of it, and this is cool, so it's not a real hot pot right now. I let it cool with the already cooked ones. And anyway, so I'll get back with you after we get the rest of these browned. Okay, we've got all the meat, the ribs sauteed. They're browned and on all sides. And so now I'm going to start making the barbecue sauce that's going to go in it. And I have 1.5 cups of broth. And today I didn't have any canned broth, so I broke up a bunch of little bouillon cubes and stuck in the water. And one of them I see didn't crinkle up, but it'll come to when I get as it gets cooking. I'm going to add, I believe it's 3/4 cup brown sugar. I have a 1/2 cup of chili sauce, and actually I have never really bought chili sauce or used it, and I found a recipe that they call it a chili sauce substitute, so I guess I'll see how that's going to taste. And I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of ketchup, Richard's favorite things, everything. So we're going to stir that in there, and then I'm going to need 3/4 cup of red cooking wine, or red wine vinegar. I'm going to add that in there. And I don't quite have enough in there, but I have a little more I'll add in a little later. And actually the cooking wine is an option that you can use. And I like to put in 2 teaspoons of chili powder. And because we kind of like ours a little bit spicy. And we put some onions, chopped up onions, and so you can see I didn't really slice them up or chop them up real small. I just put them in there kind of in pieces. And also we need some garlic, and I've got a spoon. We need the equivalent of 5 crushed up pieces of garlic, and I always end up adding more than what I need. And usually 1 tablespoon is equal to 1 clove of garlic crushed up. So I'm going to put in 5 heaping ones, because like I said, we do eat a lot of garlic. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to stir all this back up, and I'm going to put it on the stove for probably 15 minutes because of the meat and everything that's in here. And I do not have, this is not 80% full, so I will be using the little pan, and I am going to make some au gratin potatoes to go on the top. And let me get this going on the stove, and I'll show you what we're going to do with the potatoes. Okay, and today I'm going to make a little bit of these au gratin potatoes. And as you can see, I have some dried potatoes here, and I'm going to put them in this smaller pot that's going to go on the top. And there's my potatoes, and it needs, this is some of our powdered cheese, and I added a little bit of parsley flakes to it. And I think I put in about a half a cup, a little over half a cup of the cheese. And like I said, this is kind of my own little recipe, and I haven't tried this part in the thermal cooker yet, so we're going to see exactly how it turns out today. And I have 1.5 cups of water that I'm going to put in here. And I forgot to get some butter out, but I'll put in a tablespoon or 2 of butter. And I have 3/4 cup of milk. And what I'm going to do is stir this up, and I'm going to take it over and put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. And let it boil for, well, with the milk in it, I won't let it boil as a hard boil, but it will boil for approximately 8 or 9 minutes. And then I'm going to, also I have some rehydrated onions, I don't know if you can see them, and mushrooms that we dehydrated the other day. And there's some mushrooms, and we've got some onions I'm just going to throw in here for a little extra flavoring in the potatoes. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on the stove, and then I'll put it all in the pot and be with you in just a few minutes. Alright, the ribs have, the sauce is boiled for about 10 minutes. And I've got, I added a tiny bit of cornstarch to it, and I'm fixing to put it in there just so it'll kind of thicken. And they say you can add the cornstarch or a gravy mixture to your product before you put it in the slow cooker, and it'll thicken as it's cooking in this little thermal cooker. And as you can see, and I am going to take them now and stick them on top of the big pot in here, and close the little handles down, spilled all over them. And we're going to put the lid on, which, as you can see, the lid is going to be secured in here. And there it is. It's cooking itself, all by itself, with no electricity, no nothing. And it's perfect, like if you were going on an outing. You can check it in, I'm going to check this, like I said, in 4 hours. And this thermal cooker will keep the food at eating temperature, which is safe, for 8 hours. Okay, and you can go to prairiefoxsurvival.com, and under our recipes page, we will have this recipe in detail for you. And we'll also have a link if you think you might like it with Saratoga Jack's thermal cooker. And you're welcome to leave comments about this, and if you have any of your favorite thermal cooking recipes and stuff, I said please email them to us. You're welcome to post on our forum. And anyway, we'll be back with you as soon as this is done. In 4 hours, like I said, I'm going to check it, and we'll see how it's looking. Okay, we just pulled out our gratin potatoes out of the thermal cooker, and you can see. See these? These are done. These were dried, dehydrated potatoes that we did, made with our powdered cheese that we had dehydrated. The ribs have come out. The ribs are hot, but I don't know if I can get this in here or not, and if you can get a picture of them, but that's the way they are, and the pot's very hot. It took 4 hours, actually. I checked them, like I said, at 4 hours, and I decided to go ahead and let the ribs cook for another hour. So what I did, since I had to open the lid, I reheated everything up and then stuck them back in there along with the potatoes, so they would be nice and hot when it came time to serve this meal. And I'm just going to put these back here to keep them warm. And this is our finished product. Here you can see our ribs. We also had some fresh turnip greens that we had canned from our garden last summer, the au gratin potatoes, and these delicious ribs, and they are pretty darn tender. They'll cut with a fork almost. They're just, you know, just real good. Could have left them on longer, except for we were hungry and wanted to eat. And I appreciate you coming to prairiefoxsurvival.com, and don't forget you can find our recipe for this and many other things on our website.